So let us try calculating the molecular masses of bigger molecules like sulfuric acid. So as we have already discussed this in the previous video, that molecular mass is simply calculated using the simple formula number of atoms of an element present in a molecule multiplied to the mass number of that element in the molecule. Using the same formula, let us try calculating the molecular mass of sulfuric acid now. Sulfuric acid, this is one molecule of sulfuric acid, and one molecule of sulfuric acid has 2 atoms of hydrogen, 1 atom of sulfur, and it has 4 atoms of oxygen. So to calculate the molecular mass of sulfuric acid, we will multiply the number of atoms of hydrogen multiplied to the mass number of hydrogen plus number of atoms of sulfur multiplied to the mass number of sulfur plus the number of atoms of oxygen multiplied to the mass number of oxygen. So let us now calculate the molecular mass. So it is simply going to be equal to number of atoms of hydrogen were 2 in sulfuric acid. So we multiply it to the mass of hydrogen is 1 plus number of atoms of sulfur in sulfuric acid are just 1 sulfur atom is there, and the mass of sulfur atom is 32. So we multiply it with 32 plus number of atoms of oxygen are 4 in sulfuric acid and mass of oxygen is 16. So we multiply it with 16. So now we do the calculation, which is equivalent to 2 plus 32 plus 64. And when we total them all, our answer comes out to be 98 AMU, that is atomic mass unit. Let's take up another example. Ammonium sulphate, NH4 whole twice SO4. So in ammonium sulphate, it contains, one molecule of ammonium sulphate contains 2 atoms of nitrogen, 8 atoms of hydrogen. How do we get 8 atoms? 4 multiplied by 2. 4 into 2, 8 atoms of hydrogen. There is only 1 atom of sulfur and there are 4 atoms of oxygen. So now let us do the calculation of molecular mass of ammonium sulphate. So molecular mass of ammonium sulphate is simply number of atoms of nitrogen multiplied to the mass number of nitrogen plus number of atoms of hydrogen multiplied to the mass number of hydrogen plus number of atoms of sulfur multiplied to the mass number of sulfur plus number of atoms of oxygen multiplied to the mass number of oxygen. So its calculation can be done as number of atoms of nitrogen are 2 in the formula of ammonium sulphate. 2 multiplied to mass of nitrogen is 14. 2 multiplied by 14. Number of atoms of hydrogen are 8 multiplied to the mass of hydrogen, which is 1, plus number of atoms of sulfur in the molecule of ammonium sulphate are 1 multiplied to the mass of sulfur, which is 32, plus number of atoms of oxygen are 4 multiplied to 16. So if we do the calculation, it comes out to be 28 plus 8 plus 32 plus 64. And our answer comes out to be 132 AMU, that is atomic mass unit. So this is how we do the calculation for molecular mass of ammonium sulphate. Let's take up the last example now. Molecular mass calculation for acetic acid, which is also known as vinegar. Its formula is CH3COOH. Now acetic acid, number of atoms of each element in acetic acid are, there are 2 atoms of carbon. As we can see, 1 carbon here, 1 carbon here. Total of 2 carbon atoms. Total of how many hydrogen atoms? 3 hydrogen atoms here, 1 hydrogen atom here. 3 plus 1, 4 hydrogen atoms. And total of 1 and 1, 2. There are 2 oxygen atoms, so we write 2 oxygen atoms. Now, molecular mass of acetic acid can be calculated as number of atoms of carbon multiplied to the mass number of carbon plus number of atoms of oxygen multiplied to the mass number of oxygen plus number of atoms of hydrogen multiplied to the mass number of hydrogen. Now since there are 2 atoms of carbon in acetic acid, so we take 2 multiplied to the mass of carbon, which is 12, plus number of oxygen atoms here are 2 multiplied to the mass of oxygen, which is 16, plus number of hydrogen atoms are 4 multiplied to the mass of hydrogen, which is 1, and therefore we get 24 plus 32 plus 4, which comes out to be 60 AMU, that is atomic mass unit. So this is how we calculate the molecular masses of sulfuric acid, ammonium sulphate and acetic acid. So I hope you all have understood this topic. At any point in time, if you feel that you are not clear with the concept of how to calculate the number of atoms, you can go through the video, the link for which I am sharing in the description box. Thank you so much.